What if the greatest mystery in the universe is not the stars above us, but the world that exists within us? For centuries, humanity searched for answers in distant lands, in religion, in science, in philosophy. But one man believed that the most important journey begins with a single question. Who are you beneath the mask you show the world? His name was Carl Gustav Jung. He was a psychiatrist, a philosopher of the human mind, and one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century. His ideas transformed psychology forever. They inspired writers, artists, filmmakers, and spiritual thinkers across the world. Yet his greatest discovery was not about mental illness. It was about the hidden forces that shape every human life. This is the story of Carl Gustav Jung, the man who dared to explore the deepest corners of the human soul. Carl Gustav Jung was born on July 26, 1875, in the small Swiss village of Keswil. His father was a Protestant pastor. His mother possessed a rich imagination and spoke openly about dreams, symbols, and spiritual experiences. From an early age, Jung grew up between two very different worlds. One was guided by religion, the other by mystery. As a child, he often preferred solitude. He spent long hours walking through forests, observing nature, and reflecting on questions that most children never asked. He later wrote that even in childhood, he sensed there was more to reality than what could be seen with the eyes. Dreams fascinated him. Symbols fascinated him. He wondered why certain images appeared repeatedly in different cultures, why ancient myths seemed strangely familiar, and why the human mind could produce ideas that felt older than the individual. These questions would eventually define his life's work. Jung studied medicine at the University of Basel before choosing psychiatry as his specialty. At the time, mental illness remained poorly understood. Many patients were feared rather than helped. Jung believed there had to be a better way. After completing his studies, he joined the Berg Holsley Psychiatric Hospital in Zurich, one of Europe's leading psychiatric institutions. There, he worked under the renowned psychiatrist Eugene Bleuler. Jung carefully observed his patients. He listened to their stories. He paid attention to their dreams. Rather than dismissing strange thoughts as meaningless, he asked a different question. What if these experiences carried hidden meaning? His research soon attracted international attention. Then, in 1907, a meeting took place that would change the course of psychology. Jung met Sigmund Freud. Freud was already becoming famous for his revolutionary theories about the unconscious mind. The two men immediately recognized each other's brilliance. Their first conversation reportedly lasted more than 13 hours. They spoke almost without interruption about dreams, about the unconscious, about human behavior, about the future of psychology. Freud believed he had found not only a gifted colleague, but also the man who might carry psychoanalysis into the future. For several years, Jung became one of Freud's closest collaborators. He defended psychoanalysis before skeptical audiences. He wrote influential papers. He traveled with Freud across Europe and the United States. Many believed they would shape psychology together for decades to come. But beneath their friendship, important differences were beginning to emerge. Freud argued that many human behaviors could ultimately be traced back to repressed sexual desires, Jung agreed that sexuality played an important role, but he believed the human mind was far more complex. He believed people were driven not only by instinct, but also by meaning, by myth, by creativity, by spirituality, by the search for purpose. Their disagreements slowly became impossible to ignore. What began as respectful debate gradually turned into philosophical conflict. Neither man lacked intelligence, neither lacked conviction. They simply saw the human mind through different lenses. In 1913, the friendship came to an end. The separation deeply affected Jung. He lost not only a mentor, but also one of his closest intellectual companions. Many feared his career would collapse. Instead, it marked the beginning of his most important work. Freed from Freud's influence, Jung turned his attention inward. He began an extraordinary exploration of his own dreams, visions, and imagination. For years, he carefully recorded these experiences in journals. He did not see them as signs of madness. He saw them as a journey into the deepest layers of the human psyche. That journey would lead him to ideas unlike anything psychology had seen before. Ideas about archetypes, about the shadow, about the collective unconscious. Ideas that would forever change the way we understand ourselves. But first, Jung would have to confront the darkest parts of his own mind. After his separation from Sigmund Freud, Carl Gustav Jung entered one of the most difficult periods of his life. Too many people around him. He appeared withdrawn. Some believed he was experiencing a psychological crisis. Jung saw it differently. He believed he was embarking on the most important journey of his life, not across countries, but into the depths of his own mind. He allowed himself to observe his dreams with extraordinary attention. He recorded vivid visions. He explored powerful emotions. Rather than pushing these experiences away, he studied them. He wanted to understand what the human mind was trying to reveal. Years later, many of these private writings became known through the Red Book. It was not a scientific textbook, nor was it a diary in the ordinary sense. It was the record of a man confronting his own unconscious. From these years of intense reflection emerged one of Jung's most influential ideas, the collective unconscious. Freud had argued that the unconscious was largely shaped by personal experience. Jung agreed that personal memories were important, but he believed there was something even deeper. He proposed that every human being shares a layer of the psyche inherited from our ancestors, a psychological inheritance, not made of memories, but of universal patterns. He called these patterns archetypes: the hero, the mother, the wise old man, the child, the trickster. These figures appear again and again in myths, religions, legends, and stories from cultures that never met each other. To Jung, this was no coincidence. It suggested that beneath our different languages and traditions, humanity shares a common psychological foundation. Another idea became just as famous: the shadow. Jung believed that every person carries qualities they refuse to acknowledge: anger, jealousy, fear, pride, even hidden talents. The more we deny these parts of ourselves, the more power they gain over us. According to Jung, maturity does not come from pretending the shadow does not exist. It comes from recognizing it, understanding it, and learning to live with it responsibly. He warned that people who constantly blame others for everything often fail to see the darkness within themselves. For Jung, self-knowledge required courage. It meant facing uncomfortable truths instead of running from them. He also introduced the ideas of the anima and the animus. He believed that every man carries unconscious feminine qualities, and every woman carries unconscious masculine qualities. These inner dimensions, he argued, influence relationships, creativity, emotions, and personal growth. Whether modern psychologists agree with every aspect of these theories or not, their influence on psychology, literature, and art has been immense. Perhaps Jung's most important concept was individuation. He believed that the purpose of life was not simply success, not fame, not wealth, but becoming whole. Individuation is the lifelong process of integrating every part of ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, our fears, our hopes, our conscious mind, and our unconscious mind. For Jung, becoming yourself was the greatest achievement a person could accomplish. As his reputation grew, Jung traveled extensively. He visited North Africa, India, and the American Southwest. He studied religions, myths, symbols, and ancient traditions from many cultures. These journeys strengthened his belief that humanity shares deep psychological patterns despite enormous cultural differences. His books reached readers far beyond the field of psychology. Artists found inspiration in his symbols. Writers discovered new ways of creating unforgettable characters. Filmmakers explored archetypes in storytelling. Even today, Jung's ideas continue to influence psychotherapy, literature, philosophy, and popular culture. Carl Gustav Jung died on June 6, 1961, at the age of 85 in Küsnacht, Switzerland. He left behind dozens of books, thousands of letters, and ideas that continue to shape the way we think about the human mind. Some of his theories remain debated. Others have been revised by later research. Yet even those who disagree with Jung often acknowledge the extraordinary originality of his work. He reminded us that human beings are not guided by reason alone. We are shaped by stories, by symbols, by dreams, by the hidden parts of ourselves that we often ignore. Carl Gustav Jung never claimed that the journey inward would be easy. In fact, he believed it was the hardest journey anyone could take. Because exploring the world is simple, exploring your own soul is far more difficult. Perhaps that is why one of his most enduring ideas still resonates today. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Whether those words are taken as psychology, philosophy, or practical wisdom, they point toward the same truth. The greatest mysteries are not always waiting beyond the horizon. Sometimes they are waiting quietly within us. And perhaps the purpose of life is not to become someone else, but to discover the person you have always been. Carl Gustav Jung spent his life searching for that truth. His journey ended in 1961, but the path he opened into the human mind is still being explored today.